Hey guys, to celebrate Valentine's and everything slightly more feminine and romantic and pretty, I wanted to do a male makeup tutorial on how to just kind of feminize the face a little bit and also just make a really kind of dreamy romantic look. This isn't going to be for everybody. I've left the stubble on purpose just to act as a bit of a juxtapose. To kind of contrast between doing quite a feminine look. When I mean feminine, I mean very quite like naturally looking. I'm not going to be doing anything to my eyes or lips. So something which is still really subtle if you were going to go for dinner or date night or something like that. But I wanted to leave the stubble just to show that it's still doable with something quite masculine near it, and also to just show how you can blend in foundation and make it all look unified. So if you're interested in this kind of video, enjoy and watch. And it's nice to be back. It feels like, I think it's been 4 or 5 weeks since I've done a video. This has been looming in my mind, but I've been sick, I've been busy, I'm back studying after Christmas. It's been a crazy time, but I'm back here. So yeah, if you're glad about that, leave a little heart emoji down at the bottom. And also if you just like anything romantic anyway and anything pink and pretty, leave a double heart emoji on the bottom in comments or Instagram or anywhere that you're seeing it. But anyway, I'm gonna get straight on with the video. Okay, so in terms of cleansing, so I worked out this morning, I did a really good cleanse on my face. I didn't use any kind of harsh tools. I just used my, in keeping with the whole color theme, my Rilakkuma Mud Fresh Cleansing Foam. I have a lot of cleansers at the moment, so basically it's a different one every day, and because I just want to use up my products. Also, I used it with my sister's Foreo. So this is the Luna Mini, and it's not the latest one, this is the Luna Mini, the original. This just again shows that you can use them because it's silicone, it doesn't harvest bacteria the same way that like say a bristle would. So as long as you deep cleanse it and make sure that you've kept it all nice and clean, I can get away with stealing this. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of show off, well, I wanted it all pink and pretty for this, and I think for Valentine's, okay, not everyone's perhaps as feminine as myself, but I'm sure I'm not alone, and it should be celebrated. So yeah, I cleansed my face really well. I then used a lip scrub just to remove, I feel like in winter, and because Valentine's is in winter, lips can really get a bit of a build-up of dry skin, and it's something that you want it kind of plump anyway. So I used a lip scrub that I bought in the Liverpool store from Lush, and it's a chocolate one. It has notes of orange, so it's kind of like a Terry's chocolate orange. If you're from the UK, or if you're not, it's sort of like an orange chocolate. It's really, really nice, really refreshing. The last one I had was I think a popcorn one, and that was to the bottom, and that dried out quite a lot. I've had that for over 2 years. So they do last a really long time, so it's kind of nice having a fresh one. And then that's all I've done. I haven't moisturized yet. I wanted to kind of just show you how I'm gonna start. So I've cleansed. It doesn't really matter what cleanser you're using as long as it works well for your skin. In terms of moisturizing, there's 2 different things that you can do. I'm going to be using a primer anyway for this look because I want a really nice pearlized, dewy, really everything romantic. I'm going to use that word a lot, but this isn't just like an everyday, well, it could be an everyday makeup, but this, I just wanted to kind of show off everything that I've got and that I enjoy using when you do just want to feel really pretty and really glowy and have all those sorts of connotations to your face. So I'm starting first with a little bit of the hyaluron. So this is hyaluronic acid, and used on bare skin before a moisturizer will draw in some of that moisture from it and drive it deeper into the skin. So in the cooler, harsher winter months, when my skin freaks out, and I'm not alone with that, I'm in good company, this is a really good thing. So alone, it can't actually do a lot. It does need that kind of second layer of moisture to actually get to work. So I have 2 options today that I'm going to show you. This is one brand that I am literally obsessed with, and I'm gutted the fact that in terms of like a lot of products that you can't always get things as much in the UK. I think America have a lot more, which I'm so gutted about, but things can change. So this is a hydrating moisturizer that I've been using. I got it for Christmas. Really light, very watery, but really sticks to the skin. Has a beautiful coconut smell, and it's just stunning. Really nice, really good for sensitive skin. Really nice after shaving as well. So obviously that's more geared for guys, but also for women. If you just want something nice and light, which doesn't feel too thick or cakey, this is a great moisturizer. So to be honest, because I'm going to be using the No. 7 Airbrush Away Boosting Primer, which already has a bit of a sheen, I was thinking of using this product, and I've actually had I started first with a sachet tester of this. This is the Matte Glow Moisturizer from Glowy. So in a way, because I'm using this and this is basically going to serve as the same effect as this. But I do want a primer. And whereas this I don't think will have, well, this doesn't have the same feel as a primer. It's more just there's like a really nice hydrating kind of BB cream feel. So I'm actually going to use this today. So I'm going to use a teeny bit of, I'm still in deciding on what I do for lenses. So I'm just using this at a different millimeter. So hopefully it's all good for y'all to watch. So with moisturising, kind of upward strokes in the neck. And what I always think is if you're going to be doing anything with your eyebrows prior to putting makeup, putting moisturiser on, be careful not to get a lot of, or be careful not to really get any product or much into your eyebrows, depending if you're using like a powder. If you're using like a gel, that's different, or a wax, but if you're using a powder, it can sometimes stick a lot more and you end up with the full-on, no offense, because I love it, but yeah, you can have a full-on kind of scalp brow, which I like, but not everybody digs. So I'm going to follow that with the airbrush away. And this is one that I've had in another video. So it's kind of clear, and you can see it slowly starting to turn pink. And if I put that on my face, you'll see it's going like way more pink. I'm using the monitor and a mirror, so if I do go like that, it's only because I need to obviously see what I'm doing with my face. So you can see already it's like a really pinky hue. Look at that, it's kind of like lilac-y even. So you can use this with a brush, but I think sometimes with the heat of your fingers, mine in this case, the primer goes on really, really well. And also I feel like after the base bit, you lose kind of touch of what your skin feels like. So at this stage, I'd still be able to cleanse my face or exfoliate it and moisturize it again without having to take everything off. And I feel like when you're putting primer on, well, when you're putting anything on your face, you really want to feel everywhere, and you're kind of scoping the ground anyway of how your kind of canvas is going to be. So if I'm feeling a bit of dryness here and I'm thinking, I'm going to be putting foundation on this, I need to be, you know, this could catch, then this is the point where, okay, I have put product on, and yes, you could do it before you put anything on, but I feel like when you put moisturizer, again, it's like another layer of just checking how everything's going. So my base is all good, I'm happy with it. To be honest, on a day that you just wanted something really natural without wearing anything heavy, you could just get away with this and that's it. Maybe even a bit of pressed powder perhaps. But for the sake of today, I'm going to be doing a lot more. The next step will be base. So I'm going to be using a mixture of foundations. This isn't to scare or be like, yeah, I put like this amount on. Excuse me for the dirty packaging as well. So this is the Tarte Empowered Hybrid Gel Foundation in Light Neutral. This is probably one of the best foundations I've ever used, but it's not very mattified. So if you do use that, it can transfer quite easily and you do need to use a lot of powder. In terms of high street stuff, products, these are some of the best ones. Extremely mattified, great for if you've got a long day or if you're going to like, I know it sounds weird thing to say, but if you're going to like a theme park or something, I know it's not like that's what you think when you're getting a foundation, like is this theme park certified? Yeah. But it's a test of something which you really need to have something quite durable and can deal with a lot of stress or perhaps water off spray and things like that. So this foundation is amazing. And this is sort of my saviour that at first I thought it was a bit of a pain that I bought it, but I bought this way too dark and this is in tan, which I'm definitely not. I do have a bit of fake tan on, a teeny bit of remnant, so I'm a little browner than I usually would be, which is why again I like to mix shades and things just to make sure I'm using, well, I've got the right tone. And in terms of brushes, this is probably the brush that came with the Empowered foundation. It's probably one of the best brushes I've ever used in my life. I actually put a fake tan with this on, and I feel like I'm really talking, so I'm just going to shut up for a bit. So I'm using a teeny bit of the Bourjois Air Matte in Vanilla to add a bit of lightness and matteness. I'm going to add a teeny dab of the Tarte. I'm feeling tarty. Joking. This is about romance, nothing else. And a bit of the beige light clay. Oh, YOLO, maybe just put a bit of everything in. You're gonna hate me if you want the exact formula. But again, I wouldn't need to do this. A mixture of whatever works well for you. This tutorial isn't about saying like, oh, you need my foundations and then you'll look like this. It's completely different. Everyone's skin type's different. Everyone will have different effects. People have different skin tones. It's completely unique and subjective. So when you are watching things, also this is on camera. So I'm not digging my abilities at all, and definitely not being modest, but cameras can sometimes make you look better than it would in real life, and that's something that you do need to kind of take in consideration when you are watching YouTube videos. But then also it can go the other way. So if it looks bad, it can also accentuate it. So I think there's kind of a happy medium ground between it. So with the foundation, always taking it to your ears. That's kind of the case with everybody. My mirror is so dirty, by the way. Sorry, I use it when I'm doing my hair, and it gets hairspray all over it. In terms for anybody, especially men, when you want things blended, always make sure you're taking it up to the ears, down to the neck, and thankfully, because I've used fake tan and I'm a little darker than usual, blending isn't as difficult. So yes, I've blended it into the stubble, and rather than using a sponge, I feel like unless you've got a really tough sponge, stubble can really damage your tools. So I feel like brushes are sometimes a bit more effective in that sense. And yeah, so I feel like that's all blended. I'm happy with that. If you were going out drinking or it was a date night in the evening, which it would be, unless it's like a lunch date, he's a keeper, I would then use perhaps a bit more around the neck, especially if you get a bit of erythema or you get a bit of reddening naturally if you're drinking alcohol. Yeah, which does happen to everybody. It happens to me sometimes. Well, it happens to me most of the time actually. If you're drinking a lot, you're always going to kind of get a bit flushed. So I'm using a little bit of this just under the eye. Teeny bit down the nose. Teeny bit on the cupid's bow. So I've done 2 clicks and this is all that it's provided. So I don't want to accentuate too much here just because after when I'm doing a bit of a contour, I'm going to show you a different way of accentuating. That's a word. Of accentuating different features. So in terms of that, obviously the YSL Touche Éclat is slightly on the pricier scale. I feel like this also is just as good for an everyday one, which you can get for 3 for 2. So say if you did want the foundations that I showed you before, you could all get that together. I got mine from Boots. No, I got that from Superdrug, but I got the foundations from Boots. And again, not that it matters at all. So, I'm just going to blend this out. So I'm just using a soft brush. These are super inexpensive brushes, which is what I like. So the brush I'm using is just a very soft feathered synthetic brush. These are ones that I got from Amazon. They were under 20 for the whole set, and you get over, I think over 20 or 25. I've just delicately just blended that out. Just gonna gently blend this one out as well. So this is just gonna give a lifted appearance here and just soften the face. And obviously every face type is different, and since studying skincare and now makeup in my module, I've learned a lot more about the different face shapes. So supposedly I'm a oval / diamond face shape just because of cheekbones. So I've actually realised that I've been totally contouring wrong all my life. So yeah, that was a nice realisation, but it's alright, we live and learn. I just didn't think it would be that this year. I've done the under eye concealer, we've done the full face, so I feel very kind of unified. The skin's all in kind of good condition. It feels nice because it was nice and moisturised. So we're going to go next with a bit of, we're going to do a 3-step bit, which is really going to help give basically everything which I think is going to encapsulate what I wanted for this video. I wanted everything pink and pretty and feminine and just really warm and cozy and approachable. So for me, these are the three most important steps. It's going to be the contour, the blush and the highlight. To blend them all together to give, oh my gosh, to blend them all together to give this really lovely, just pretty look. I'm really going to enjoy editing this and just seeing how many times I mentioned that, so apologies. First going to start with a bit of contour. I'm going to do brows last, and yeah, so don't think I've forgotten those. Because I haven't. I'm not going to do brow. I wish, but a different tutorial. I'm using for this the CK1 bronzer in Sandabar 400. This is definitely a bit too dark than I would need. So I have to be very careful with putting this on. So in terms of contour for my face shape at least, and to be honest, most face shapes, I'm going to be bringing it from here to the corner of my eye. Oh, and I already put some already. So just this bit. So when you kind of purse your lips a little bit, you can kind of see exactly where I'm going to follow. And then the highlight will go here, and the blush will go, oh my gosh, the blush will go here, highlight here. Problem is that I never put enough sometimes. Oh, and there we go, Chris. More than enough. Definitely more than enough. But for the sake of it, I'm just going to leave that and just show you. And then again, I'm going to do this here. With the nose, to just, I never like to do it too near here. I like to focus a bit more here and then bring it down on the end. So, with a teeny bit on, I'm just going to slowly start just shading and kind of chiseling that really subtly, and then I can do more if I want. Taking it also a bit higher into the eye, I feel like opens this whole area more. I feel like it just frames the nose really well. So the same again on the other side. And with this, I would definitely suggest doing it further out first, and then if you want, bring it in. The other day for work, I did it way too close, and yeah, you can definitely over contour the nose, and then it starts to look artificial. And though that can look amazing on anybody, men and women, again, different tutorial. So that does look a bit kind of extreme, but, and then with this. And really interestingly, without obviously having work or things to make your face more, you know, symmetrical, each side can be slightly different. So don't worry if, say, your contour on one side doesn't look the same when you look again forward. Everybody's face is different, and unless you've had perhaps fillers or things to kind of balance that out, which I have no issues with, nor should anybody else, our natural faces are obviously going to be a bit different side by side. So that took a little longer. If you wanted to go really a bit further out, which I can show you, I would just dab a teeny bit and really little bit, and here, just under it, just chiseling it, just slightly. Only slightly. And then again. And then just make sure you just bring it down a little bit. Perfect. Okay, so we've done the contour, so I'm happy with that. We're then going to do a highlight. We have two different options for that, actually three. We could use powder, we could use liquid, or liquid, there's two options. I have two liquid options that I can use today. This is a really inexpensive one from Makeup Academy. And this is in Champagne. The name kind of just drew me to it immediately, and it honestly has that kind of champagne-y look. But in the terms of, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I've been up really early to go to the gym, and I feel like my speech has just gone out the window. But for the sake of this video, I'm actually going to use one of my favorite highlighters ever, and it's called Shy Beam by Benefit. And this is a really subtle, sort of mattified. So I'm just going to be following the areas that I want to be highlighting. So super subtle, just teeny little bits like that. Even more on that area. Teeny bit on your cupid's bow. A little bit on your chin. So this is basically just going to soften those areas. I'm also just going to do a little ring here, which just looks great. So, you know, if you're feeling confident, just go out like this. If he doesn't like you like this, or she doesn't like you like this, they're not worth it. But for the sake of this, it's the first date, so let's just, you know, keep it subtle. Don't scare them off too soon. And I'm going to be blending this out with just a really soft brush. So this is the, there's no numbers, and I'm not in the money to be spending that much on brushes yet. So I'm basically just going to blend it, not completely, but just get it into the skin. So there's still work to go with blending it, but just for the sake of this, I'm just going to make it more pronounced, which will it will also look a bit nicer on video, hopefully, and it will make it hopefully a bit easier to just follow. So you can see how much it's just softened the face. With face shapes, it's really important to learn where to highlight and where to contour for different face shapes. And I genuinely didn't realise until, to be honest, until in class when we actually did learn, I definitely put too much here. Oops. I've definitely put too much here, but it's okay. The day at college which I actually learned this was when I had my makeup done from one of my classmates called Chloe, and she did my makeup insanely good, and I've never had my face, yeah, it was paler than I'm probably used to because I like quite a bit of a glow. I also didn't have any fake tan at that point. It just looked so fresh and dewy, and that's what genuinely did inspire me to make this video even more so. So thank you, hun. Since then it's actually inspired me to do my makeup more subtly and more like this, instead of going genuinely all the way down to like here to the middle of my eye and then doing all this area. I focus more on doing it just here with a teeny bit here, just to bring in the hairline a bit further down to accentuate this area, and just stop here, which is really not what I'm used to doing. So it's really exciting kind of learning like that. I'm also just going to get a brush now, so the same brush that I used for some blending out. I'm going to just blend a bit of the contour just to connect it slightly. I'm doing this now rather than doing it with the blush, just because the blush I'm going to keep it more localized than with the highlight areas. I want to just focus on keeping it just here. But as you can tell, very dewy. My skin feels really luminescent, feels very pearlized without it being too shiny. All blended out. Now it's time for a bit of the blush. So you can use two different options. You could use perhaps a powdered one or a liquid blush. And for the sake of this, I'm actually going to use this one, which is in fact a tester that I got from someone who sells Inika. And this is in Loose Mineral Blush in Peachy Keen. Pinky, apricot-y, slightly coral. It's very cute, it's very pretty, which I've said about 20 times. And I'm basically just going to load the brush up, dab it on my hand just to get an idea of how much product is actually going to go onto my cheeks when I do it. I'm going to get my mirror. So I'm just dabbing it on here. Could use a bit more. I don't know if I'm alone, but have you ever put too much blush on that you either look very excited to be there or very nervous to be there? I don't know what's the difference, but it just looks very like flushed, and there's definitely too much. With this, I've got a teeny flush to the cheeks, really nice and peachy. It's not looking red, it's not looking kind of like and I think that's a big misconception with blusher, that it's just gonna, especially if you suffer from a bit of redness anyway in the skin, or like I said before, a bit of erythema when perhaps you're drinking or anything like that, it doesn't matter. And in terms of blush, you just need to choose perhaps more carefully in terms of what tones you're going for. So a peachy coral colour isn't going to have much redness, it's going to have more of like a pinky salmon colour tone. And especially if you've had a good base of foundation under it, you've got a new skin tone, whether it's accentuating your own natural one or creating the illusion of another skin tone, you've got already that canvas and that layer to play on above. So you kind of need to forget also a lot of the issues that you would have on just your bare skin. If we put blush on just bare skin, you would have perhaps more of those worries, but with a full face of makeup, enjoy having that and having the freedom to sort of play around with blush. Now that the makeup is done, I'm going to use my pressed powder at this stage and then do my brows. The reason being is we all have different kind of times that we do things. I feel like if I'm going to be using any brow gel and I powder after, it collects into it and gives quite an ashy look, and I don't like that. So my favourite powder in the world is the NYX HD Studio Photogenic powder. The reason being is it's translucent, it's pretty much undetectable, it has a really nice feel without it being too silicone-y. It's incredible, I absolutely love it. So I'm just gently patting. And especially if you want this to be even more subtle, I already feel like it's pretty subtle anyway, but if you want it really subtle, focus on putting the powder on areas that you've put highlights or anything with a bit of shimmer. So in this sense, we've kind of put a little bit everywhere with the primer, but I wouldn't worry about that. Focus more on the areas that we've put even more and more. Definitely under the eyes, because we've not only put the primer, we've also put the concealer, which has reflecting particles, and we've also got the highlight. 3 layers of it. Hashtag trifle. Oh no, that would have more layers, but you know what I mean. So with this, you could use any brush. It just needs to be a nice, soft, feathery brush which collects really well. So this is nice because it's got dual fibres. And you can just press it in. Say you were, again, my theme park analogy, say you were going to a theme park every day, Ariana Grande, I would use this on top of my makeup. So once you've done all the cream, once you've done the base, you would use this before using any powders. So after, in this case, when I use the foundations and use the touche éclat under my eyes, I would dab teeny bits of this, and I mean minuscule little bits everywhere, and then gently blend it in with a brush. What the Nano Blur can do is budge it, so you've got to be really careful. So even using a brush like this to just dab it in, this means that your makeup will last, I'm not even joking, all day. You won't even need powder on top of it, it's insane. But if you don't cleanse it, I would be petrified to think what your face would look like the day after, because this literally blocks your skin completely. Yeah, so you've got to cleanse. You should cleanse anyway, but especially when you're using something kind of so heavy as that. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is my brows. Again, from my other videos, if you've watched them, I am obsessed with the collection kit that you just get from Superdrug. Something nice, doesn't need to be too fancy. I'm happy with it, it works well for my eyebrows. I actually now tint my eyebrows myself. So with Professional, I've just dipped that in my bronzer. Oops. And it also broke, so it's just looking gorgy and lovely. Obviously this is only stuff that I use myself, not on other people. For me, I've always wanted boxier. Whenever I watch Japanese or Korean makeup looks, I adore the boxiness of the eyebrows that they kind of find really stylish at the moment. So my aim has been to build this area up, to thicken this bit up, to flatten the top more and build this area more, to have a slightly more boxed appearance. I feel it's really flattering for men and women. But for the sake of this video, I'm also just going to make sure that it's still naturally curved, that it's not too much. I've put a bit of the middle brown shade, and I'm just starting to
for launch, gonna take you high. Sat nav set to satellite. Don't care, leave a signal. truth's out there like a tip-off. Sure thing, rehearse and react, reverse the chat on my first contact.
So what you'll see now is it will go so much nicer and it will just feather out. So I'm just keeping it really, really, really subtle. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any questions at all about what I used or advice for your skin or makeup or anything to do with what I've been doing, leave me a comment down below. Yeah, this has been a long time coming. And I've really, really been excited. And this is exactly what YouTube is for me and making the videos. I've never been so excited to do a look and to share that with you guys, and something that makes me really happy and what I really enjoy doing, and having that contrast between something quite masculine and feminine. This is just me all over, and this look is just completely stands for what I love and what I enjoy doing. So thank you if you've watched it this far. Let me know if you have. That would make me so happy. And thanks for watching and going through this whole steps with me. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you shortly in new videos, and I hope you have an amazing day. And also for Valentine's, I hope you have a great time, whether you're with someone or not. It doesn't matter. As long as you're happy, that's the main important thing. So yeah, have a great Valentine's, and I will see you all soon. Bye.